Okay, so I tried to think of an idea here, and I actually may have found the answer. We'll see. The first half is what it is, the second half is what made it. This is not a perfect fit, but basically I went with, well, it sounds like a Fibonacci sequence, right? Because if a Fibonacci sequence, every number is the previous two numbers added to each other. And so, like, the previous number would be what it is, and then the number before that would be the number that made it. And those two numbers combined are the two halves of the new number. It kind of fits. So then I just Googled Fibonacci cube, because I wanted to know if there'd be a Fibonacci cube. And I didn't get the most satisfying answers looking at that kind of stuff. So then I just ended up in a bunch of articles, and I found this, which led to this article, which led to this stuff. What's interesting is, like, there's tetrahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron. There was a quote before from one of the owls where they said, I think they said tetrahedron, octahedron, dodecahedron, her sacred geometry, I think is what they said. And so that's those listed together, and this is this thing being shown over and over again as being this shape that they're all inside of. And apparently this is called a Metatron cube. And if nothing else, that's 8 letters long. Alright, let's try Metatron, because I like it, and it's 8 letters long. And also the company is called Polytron, and they're the people that made the game. Which doubles up, actually. The second half is half of what made it. Well, the half of what made it doesn't really make sense, but the idea that the second half is what made it... No, the second half is half of what made it. Tron is half of Polytron, and the second part is Tron. So that makes some sense, kind of. But yeah, it says I think my Fibonacci string of Googling made some sense. It's a little rough because this is, as far as I can tell, it seems that the answer is a piece of vocabulary that might not show up somewhere in the game. Although maybe if I translated every single thing in the entire game painstakingly, maybe I'd encounter the word Metatron at some point. But I think the Fibonacci idea is pretty strong. First half is what it is, second half is half of what made it. Because not only is it implying that the thing is made of halves, but the second half itself can be divided into halves further and infinitely. Like it's like talking about a Fibonacci sequence in reverse, kind of. I don't know. It's a riddle, so it's like the strength of my particular idea is going to be a little in the air. No! Why am I this stupid? Alright, let's immediately leave, because I didn't press down. I'm so bad at that. Alright, so the first letter needs to be M, which looks like that symbol, but rotated. It has to be pointing... The little squiggle has to be pointing up. But here's where I was. Nope, it's pointing down. Let's rotate twice now. Hope that was enough. Nope. Okay. Still no. Oops. Oh yeah, I have to rotate once first. It's pointing, yeah, it's pointing up. There, that's the M. Cool. I'm gonna do it with the door facing forward, because if there's any direction to face, that seems like the most logical one, because otherwise I don't know what to go with. E is the squiggle. Is there already an E? Because that'd be convenient. No. Alright. It's almost this, but not quite. This is a Z. The E has the little bend. It's shaped the same way, but the bend is further to the left. Nope. Separate you guys a little more if I can. I've got to try to keep straight whether I'm pressing left or right each time, or I'll just loop back around to where I was before. Like I just did. Alright, good job, me. All right. That's the E. Okay, let's not go all the way over there. I don't know if I'm... No! Okay, we're fine. I want them all to be touching, but I want to leave one square of blank on the far end so I can pick them up and move them if I need to. There we go. That's what I was going for. Alright, T. T is an upside... That's that. Thank you for already being in the correct shape. There. A is that. Cool. Then Tron is another T. Wow, that made that... That's so weirdly easy, it's making me think that it was on purpose. What? Really? Maybe you're supposed to try Polytron. I mean, Metatron. Because, like, the correct letters are here. This is an O. No, it's not. Oh, don't throw it. Never mind. Yeah, O is supposed to be facing the left side. No, just rotate, damn it. Not there. Okay. Alright, one more. There we go. T-R-O. Okay, then N. And that's already an N. Wow. Yeah. Like 5 of the 8 letters were already in the correct configuration, just in out of order. Come on. Come on. I need you to be right. I can't push it anymore. Do I need to center them better or something? What if I do have to, like, put them on the, like, the spots they were kind of suction cupping onto before? Maybe? Because they were every other one before. Let's try that again. After this, I'll spell check it in a minute to see if I somehow messed up one of the letters. No. Please be correct. Alright, well that's not good. M E T A. No. You're okay, the A is wrong. It's upside down. Oops. I just threw it, risking everything. Huh. M E T A T R O N. Shit. Am I wrong? Am I wrong, or do I have to push them all together after all? You got me worried, because I don't have another idea of what to follow up on if this isn't the answer. That was my one go, is a Fibonacci sequence. Do it. Do it. Why aren't you working? Why aren't you? Ah, shit. There we go. Ba-da. Ba-da. There we go. Okay, that kind of made sense. Basically what you had to do is you had to rotate them all sideways, I guess, in order to make them a contiguous word. Because I guess the way that the words are used on that top figure up there, the obelisk that we're referring to, they go in a, like when they string together as a word, then their tops and their bottoms are like attached to each other. In order to make them touch each other and be oriented like that, you had to rotate them all 90 degrees, like counterclockwise, in order to make them string together like that, so that it would be shaped the way it would have been if one of those words was like a tower that fell over. I don't know. The logic starts to get a little strenuous there, just because I'm like, is their language so fragile that you can't put the letters in a row like we do? Like, you can write our letters vertically or horizontally and people will know you're mean. That said, I realized I made an additional mistake though, yeah. So even based on my logic, my answer was still bad. Because I was writing the Metatron left to right, but they write top to bottom, then right to left. So I was double wrong, actually. Yeah. But that was basically the idea, is the Metatron was right, but I had to rotate the letters to make them a tower correctly. But that would still be a sideways one. But you know, you found a... What is this? I don't even... Yeah, that's what I thought. What's our percentage at? 206.2%. I guess the hearts are worth 3.2 each. Or 3.1. You know, rounding error, I guess. Yeah, I guess they've all been worth 3.1, haven't they? So it's plus or minus that. This guy got so close to completionism. I want to point out the... Oh, wait, no, this guy was the one that got everything except for the hearts. This guy didn't even beat the one of the endings. What a gap, right? Out of all the people I know, everyone, like, gave up immediately in this game. Like, in the first hour, practically. And then spike up to almost 100%, then 200%, and then two people that had different completionism, and so on. There's just such a gap between the different people. There's not like a thorough spectrum between them. I find that interesting. So now that everything's completed except the weird ritual room, I'll take another look at it. You know, give it a good college try, but I think a good college try in this case is staring blankly at it for a few minutes and being like, I don't get it. Because, I mean, I've looked at it already. There's nothing in that room to go on. I hope there's like a nice detailed article somewhere to look at that somebody's written about that mess. This is the one that's under the water, right? So it was way down here. Yeah, there you are. There you are, you son of a bitch. Like what? Can I get under it? Am I under it now? Yeah. So in that instance, I think I'm inside of it, technically. Unfortunately, you can't go into first person when you're inside of it. Because if you go in first person inside it, I could check to see if there's any, like, weird shit written inside of it, maybe? I don't know. As far as I can tell, all we have to go on is this thing. Which, I mean, if we take that as the number 1, maybe you start from there and work your way around. But it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't loop back and forth. Like, if we started in there, we'd end up on the outside of that one, and then we end up cutting off there. I guess it would loop back around to there? No, that would loop back around to being the same ring. So every single ring, every single part of it loops into itself. So you don't eventually go around the entire loop or anything, like all the different layers. Each layer is separated. I was thinking like, well, I mean, it turns right, 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 left, left, left. So you could be like, I think that was like 5 loops, which is probably more than enough to go through this number of sequences there are. Yeah, it's not that. There's a bunch of candles of different heights. Nothing to go on, man. Like, this is just an empty-ass place full of nothing. Like, I don't know what you want from me. What do you want from me? People have to have analyzed everything. Like, there were, like, once there was a gravestone that said dots to dots. Did people try drawing lines between all the different dots to see if they shaped like something? Yeah. As expected, I'm not going to instantly solve this thing that took people years. Oh well. We're looking at kill screen here. The black monolith appearing in Fez immediately suggested to the game's puzzle-solving community that their work was far from over. For days, players banged their heads against the hovering stone, tracking every possible lead to their ends, with seemingly nothing paying off in the form of a solution. Many players intuited from the previous puzzle, which summons the monolith, that they should stand where the other square is, which features a 1 in the game's numeral language. How can you tell that? How do you know which way it's facing? The first square features nothing, or a 0, indicating the 0 indexed order which you should stand. Some believed the solution was somehow related to a strange poem about the creation of the universe, which could be deciphered through some careful translation of a mysterious tome found elsewhere. Some thought it might have to do with a clue elsewhere in the game that they might have missed. Others believed it was just a weird thing that had no real meaning or solution whatsoever. That'd be a dick move, considering it is probably the source of 1/3 of that other thing you need. As somebody who played the game on day 1 but had trouble peering at it from the angles necessary to work through some of its more esoteric challenges, I became enthralled by simply gleaning through message boards and tracking the internet's progress in the monolith. The Fez community, now spanning a variety of sites such as NeoGAF, the Xbox 360 achievements boards, and giant bomb forums, and a dedicated subreddit decided after a few days, yielding no results, and crowdsourcing the solution by means of brute forcing potential button combinations could be a viable method of seeing this thing through. They had been led a bit of a ways to the right direction by a game developer, Trey Rayer, who had already, quote-unquote, solved the monolith puzzle by asking a friend who worked on the Fun Fest for the solution. Rather than outright giving the combination away, Rayer sprinkled a few hints on Twitter, such as the number of button presses, 7. How many unique inputs? 5. The final solution contained. This whittled down the number of potential solutions from a whopping 2 million to 78,000. The community immediately went to work on developing lengthy spreadsheets on Google Docs and Pastebin to work through all the potential solutions and air out the ones which were tested to be incorrect. Jeez. Yeah, really, someone's unsatisfied by such a rudimentary effort. It's almost like that's not how puzzles are supposed to work usually. I'd hope. Unsatisfied by such rudimentary and time-consuming effort, one Michael Ballard, that's really close to being the name of a family member, which one letter off in the last name, and also, I guess it's Mitchell, huh? Michael? I don't know. It might be Michael. Anyway, quickly programmed a website utilizing the de Bruijn sequence algorithm for generating all sequences at a given length. In this case, each sequence generated would contain 7 inputs because the solution required 7 button presses from a given alphabet. Here, all the potential blah blah blah. The algorithm could also accounted for the number of unique inputs. This is all talking about the algorithm. The user could test each thing. Fez briefly steps forward onto our dimension. 18 hours and 66,000 tested combinations after Ballard first posted to the website to GameFAQs, a user going by the name Greg Storm found the solution, having entered roughly 1,300 ones himself. Down, down, left trigger, right trigger, up, A. Or A up. I don't know. I'm bad. The solution when entered causes the black mob, blah, blah, blah. We'll get to that. It appears that all of Fez's platforms have been jumped upon, all its stones unturned. A game with a famously lengthy and troubled development period. Okay, yeah, that's what I'll get to. How is it intended to be solved? Get away from here with showing me what's going to happen. Why was it there? A damned monolith. What does it mean? Did they ever find out? Yeah. One can sense a general feeling of disappointment by the rather anticlimactic way in which the book on Fez had been forced shut. After all, most puzzles and games tend to be designed around some core logical conceit. Yeah, that's what you would think. We know puzzles in Fez give tangible rewards upon inputting their solutions, and we're missing a red cube, so therefore there must be a solution to solve here. But unlike most traditional game puzzles, Polytron asks players to figure out for themselves what information is useful and useless in solving the puzzle. In a sense, the community had failed, in a way. They had the combination in their hands, but lacked the reason for how it was to be reached. Essentially, they had unknowingly worked tirelessly to replicate the feeling of accidental puzzle solving. Learning the hard way the disappointment of such a conceit inevitably entails. Even worse, this was to be their final challenge. A year after its release, a Redditor by the name of Fraustdolger posted what he became most widely known accepted theory of how the Black Monolith was to be solved, and was the release date theory. His theory doesn't even bother breaking through the fourth wall, it just lackadaisically strolls around it like it's nothing, using the knowledge that Fez released on Xbox Live Arcade on April 13th, 2012, 04/13/2012. He removed the 0, since we know the sequence contains 7 inputs, giving us 413212. The tome I mentioned earlier contains the game's symbol for the 4th dimension. Since we know that 3-dimensional objects cast 2-dimensional shadows, 4-dimension object would cast 3-dimension shadow, which would be the monolith. The order which we're supposed to read the tome is in 152-63748. Reading the release date in the order given by the tome would read 4011322. This number is then translated into Fez's numerical alphabet. If this array of symbols were to cast a shadow in the 3rd dimension, and then these symbols converted into button inputs, we would get the combination for the monolith. My god, this is the tome? There was a tome translated that had to be read 3-dimensionally, each letter requiring a turn of the page. The order of the pages is 152-63748. Below are the haikus it contains. From out of nowhere, impossible visitors, our benefactors, watching over us in the hidden folds of space, in front of behind. Give the golden gift a deep revelation, our eyes wide open. Shapes to tessellate with sacred geometry, an empire to build. A new perspective, things unseen, but always there, a new direction. The hexahedron, the 64-bit name of God, the point of origin. A pattern, a code, a deep understanding, a gate to the stars. All of time and space, and the space outside of space. Where does it end? Alright, there's a Kotaku article. So the article I was reading was from 2015. The game came out in 2012, so that article was already 3 years later, which should be plenty of enough time to have an answer. Then there's another Kotaku article, because the first one was what, Kill Screen I think it was called? I don't know, you guys saw. The other one was Kotaku from 2017, so last year. They revisited the subject. Still no mention of a solution. Just that at most there's the release date theory, where some people think that that might be some explanation for the answer somehow. But to this day, no one, like, people aren't really happy with the answer, and even that one seems like it's just like cheating. Like they knew the answer already, and then they retrofit an explanation for the answer, but it was like the type of retrofit that you would have never been able to make without already knowing the answer, paradoxically. And maybe no one will ever know the solution. Bill Fish will probably withhold it forever, the answer, whether or not there even ever was an explanation or not. And considering that he exploded off of social media and canceled the sequel, he's probably spiteful enough to hold on to that forever now at this point. But anyway, down, down, left, right, right, A, up. Shit. Down, down, left, right, right, A, up. Shit. Oh, and I'm probably supposed to stand on the other one, right? Down, down, left, right, right, A, up. There you go. Forgot that detail for a minute there. Ta-da! I didn't earn this, but also I'm not going to make my own personal website that gets thousands of volunteers to brute force the answer to replicate how people actually found this. This is as satisfying of an answer as we're going to get, apparently. You found a... What is this? I don't even... We gotta go back to the heart place. Wait. Wait. Where was the heart place? Oh, it was the tree room. Right? Which is over there? Which is framed like there's no more answers left? Okay. It was somewhere around here. So yeah, it turns out I avoided this game for years out of fear of offhand comments I didn't fully understand about it. Not really offhand, in-depth discussions of it that I didn't fully understand from podcasts I listened to. 6 years ago, I guess? It's interesting because I think the conceit about like ARG style, like get the whole community involved puzzles is to like spurn discussion of a game and get a bunch of people interested in it and stuff like that. That's what happened with Silent Hills PT. But one of the things that demo did was it made itself like incomprehensible and unsolvable, so the audience, the internet, had to collectively figure out how to solve it. Is sort of part of the situation. Are we even attached here, or am I making a mistake? Where is it? But I don't like that stuff. Oh, I have to go to the bell. Whoops. I don't like that kind of content is the issue. So, like, I thought PT was neat, but I hated how you couldn't just get a nice little ending eventually. Like, if PT was a demo where a bunch of crazy dream sequences happened and like the red hallway thing happened and all the other sequences happened and then a definitive ending happened without wasting your time, I would have enjoyed it more. But instead, PT was happy to have dumb ARG mechanics and nonsensical crap where they just waste your time as you try to brute force your way through incredibly nonsensical puzzles that aren't even framed as puzzles. But that got the community all a buzz, I guess, because they all had to work together to figure out how to make the baby laugh 3 times, or whatever the hell the ultimate explanation of that was. But that just ultimately made me less satisfied than I would have been otherwise. And similarly, the inclusion of this puzzle just made me not play the game for 6 years, because I knew about this puzzle, the bad one, basically. And so I didn't want to play the whole game, really, as a result. And so I kind of avoided it for a long time, when I really, like, this is a good game, and I would have liked to have played it sooner, although it's good that I avoided playing it, because back in 2012, while I did have a YouTube channel with Andrew and so on, I was not Let's Playing puzzle games, so it would just be like Braid, where I already know the game. And this is a game where discovering the secrets is kind of the point, so it'd be like a little bit like The Witness, where I would have spoiled it for myself. Braid, from what I remember of it, I could still do a Let's Play of it, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal, because I don't remember the puzzles. I just remember the mechanics themselves. Like, like, if I took a second to go into each world, I'd immediately remember what the mechanic of that world was, probably. But that doesn't really matter. I went past it, god damn it. I'm trying to articulate a thought, so I'm kind of on autopilot, and that's the problem that happens. I think a Braid Let's Play would be fine if I get around to it at some point, which I keep meaning to, but just like how I keep meaning to get to Bastion and so many other games and Limbo. Because Braid isn't filled with like a massive series of secrets, so much as like, and how do you get there? Was it somewhere? It was below, wasn't it? I just thought that it was up here. Damn it. Like this one's a series of crazy epiphanies, like, whoa, that's how you read that language, and whoa, you can look at the floor and stuff like that. But Braid is like relatively straightforward puzzles that are presented to you in their final form, kind of. And you just have to figure out how to actually go through with solving them, as opposed to anything else. I hate navigating this world. I'm gonna be so happy to be done with it. I'm not joking. Like I like this game, but holy crap, I'm so done with this world. I'm about to beat the game and I'm still like just wandering in circles because I get lost. There we go. Did I check that door earlier and forget to go there? I don't like it. I like a world that fits together logically, and this world doesn't fit together logically because every single door in the entire game is a nonsensical warp gate that arbitrarily links up to other locations. Because none of it's like a series of corridors and hallways that physically attach. The entire game is an impossible space, and it's exhausting. Hey. Come here. That's a weird view. So it's like a series of hearts. Did I do it? Why can't I get up there? What do you want from me? Didn't I beat the game? Did I do something wrong? No, it's right there. Come on. Oh, look at the red letters artifact. Go left, right, right, left, right, left, left. Look at the green numbers artifact and go right, 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 left, right, right, left, left. I did it. Yeah. Why did it work the second time? Okay. The end. Yeah, I'm just reading what to do at this point because I don't know the thread anymore. Anything beyond this point, like people solved, I don't even know how. Reading three-dimensional haikus and brute forcing on an online database. Community got busy. So I went back home, but I'm still at the rotation power, so that means I don't need to go to the top anymore, right? Every time I restart the game and it sends me back to the bed, then... yeah, there's no one up here. I was gonna say, every time they send me back to bed, I can't rotate for a while, but now I can. Let's go talk to the old guy. See if there's any new dialogue there. It's been a long time. It's your turn now. I'm tired. Plus there's the eye thing. Yep, no new dialogue. The map is solved. Every part of it. There's so much of it. $209.4%. I'm tied now with these guys. Why do I have a higher score than Birdcatcher? I don't know, but I'm gonna hold it over. I'm gonna lower that over him, and let's take a screenshot. Just hold that against him. That I beat him at Fez. take that. I don't know why I beat him. I don't know how it determines ties. I thought it was based on chronological order. Like, I thought, oh wow, Joe must have beat it right away. But now I don't even know. I don't know what this means. But just everyone be sure to tell Birdcatcher that I am better than him at Fez. So there we go. So that's it. Finale. Goodbye. The end. This is it. It's kind of unsatisfying, but we've caught up with the level of unsatisfying that apparently the entire community has been dealing with for like the last 6 years. So that's that, huh? It's neat seeing it in 3D. But yeah, that's Fez solved, and tomorrow we'll be playing the next Patreon game. So I wonder what people picked. Thanks for watching like always, guys. And I'll see you next time. One last suicide for Gomez. Bye!